Welcome to Reddit told I am the asshole. A woman hides her baby's name so her sister, a known name thief, can't steal it again. Am I the asshole for not telling my sister the name chosen for my unborn son because she used her BBF's baby name for her daughter? My sister and I are both pregnant. This is her second child and my first. We're both having boys. When my sister had her daughter 3 years ago, her BFF was pregnant at the same time. My sister complained for 8 months that they didn't have any idea what to name my niece. And then all of a sudden, she had a name right before she gave birth. After my niece was born and her name was announced, my sister and her BFF started fighting. The BFF said that was the name she'd chosen for her baby girl, and my sister used the same first and middle name for my niece, and she couldn't believe she'd do that. My sister said it's first come, first serve, and she needed a name badly, that her BFF had time to find another name. My sister is due before me, a few weeks before, and with that in mind, I don't want her to do the same thing to me, and she has asked. Nobody knows we're having a boy except me and my husband, and we plan to keep it that way. But my sister has asked what our boy name is, and as an afterthought, she asked for our girl name too when she realized I knew what she was getting at. I refused to tell her. She tried to whine about name sharing being the fun part of pregnancy. I made up a couple of names on the spot to tell her, and she saw through it. She told me to just tell her the name, and I said no again. She asked a few more times. She even asked in front of our family. It was our brother who joked that nobody should tell the baby name thief the name they've chosen. My sister got upset and asked if that's why I wouldn't tell her. She told me I was holding something against her that she never did to me. Mom asked why I couldn't just share the name, and everyone would know my husband and I chose it first if my sister used it, but I still said no. Comments. Nope, not the asshole. They would all know she did it, but she would have still done it. Do not tell anyone, not until that kid's name is on the birth certificate. I did not tell people our baby name at all. People kept asking, which we thought was strange after the first few times let it go. I did not want to give anyone time to judge or comment on our choice because it was not their business. Not the asshole. Sister is insufferable. The only time I even asked was because I was making a nightstand in shop class and could carve in the name so it could be a baby gift. Otherwise, it is not really necessary. Just hope the baby and mom stay happy and healthy. My sister-in-law did this, and the family only needed telling once that she is not going to tell. It was so peaceful. It also taught me to maybe avoid this question with other expecting parents too. At most, I will ask if they have already thought about names, and some will say yes and tell me maybe a few candidates but not the final one, and some will just say yes but not decided, and that is a nice way to talk about it with no pressure. Do not tell anyone until the sister's baby name is on their birth certificate. Even then, I would wait until the original poster's baby's name is on the certificate too, just to make sure the weirdo sister does not go and try and change the baby's name after the fact, but before the original poster's baby arrives. Everyone would know my husband and I chose it first. If my sister used it, the mom is culpable. A woman calls out her husband's warning tap as abuse and now wonders if she went too far. My husband gave me a warning tap and I called it abuse. Am I the asshole? As I am writing this, I am laying in bed with my mom. She's helping me gather my thoughts for some other opinions. I am F24 and my husband is M30. We've been together for 3 years and married for 1. This is a throwaway account just in case. About a week ago, my husband and I got into an argument over his phone, which he had misplaced. I was in the shower when he lost it. And when I came out, he was throwing a fucking fit over it. He was like, "Where did you put it? Have you seen it?" Angrily yelling and snapping. I said I hadn't touched it and I needed to get dressed. My husband was standing in the doorway looking behind the door, so I couldn't open it. I said, "Hello? Move, please." Apparently my tone was rude because my husband turned around and shoved me into the room. I was like, "Okay, you need to calm down. I can help you look, but I gotta get dressed." He tells me to hurry up. I snap back. I'm not gonna hurry up. It isn't my fucking fault. My husband turned around and hit me on my mouth with the back of his hand. It didn't even really hurt, but I was appalled. He called it a warning tap because of my attitude. I left right then and there. I called my mom and came over. I haven't left. My brother took me over the next day to get a few things. My husband asked me if all this really necessary, and I said, yeah, it is when you abuse your wife. He was so stricken that I called it abuse. He screamed at me for it. He said I can ruin his career if I use that word. I know that I can, and I know that he didn't even hurt me, but that's how I feel. He sent me several texts threatening to divorce me if I use that word again, or try to hurt his career by saying it's someone important. AITAH for saying this, potentially citing this, and potentially ruining his career. Comments: when my boyfriend could not find his phone, he asked me to call him. You know, like a normal person. How is anger the natural response over this? I think like 99% of humans would say, can you call my phone? Because he is cheating on her and he thinks she could potentially know something. So he is panicking. Exactly what I thought. Also, if he calls it a warning tap, listen to him. He is warning you of the escalation that will follow. I want to make it clear, I am not saying listen to his instruction. I am saying hear him, comprehend what he is saying, and make a swift exit. Yes, this. A rattlesnake warns you by shaking its rattles before it bites you and inflicts a poisoned wound. A domestic abuser warns you with a little backhand smack across the mouth that does not really hurt before he knocks out teeth and leaves you with bruises and broken bones. Be smart. Leave the rattlesnake and the abuser alone as soon as they warn you. Absolutely. Even if he had not done the backhand thing, just being pushed into the room and told to hurry up to dress and help him cements the exit. Has master of my house vibes. Yes, all his actions before the slap were also abuse. This: stay at your mom's, talk to whoever you want about whatever you want, threatening to divorce you over something he did, saying it will ruin him, he lost his phone, he struck you, and then threatened to do it worse next time. I promise you, if you stay with him, you will find yourself tiptoeing around him every day, never knowing when that anger will show itself again. Since the first time it happened, it was because he could not find his phone, praying for you and sending hugs. A woman sues her cousin for $6,000 after he ruined her hearing aids, and now her family is furious. Am I the asshole for suing my cousin for $6,000 to pay for my hearing aids after he threw me in the pool? My family is all on my cousin's side for this issue, and I wanted some outside judgment. My cousin, 25M, has always been the golden child of our generation. He's funny, good-looking, and outgoing, not to mention a boy amongst girls. He's always loved to mess around and play pranks. For the record, I really dislike this cousin. I think he's irresponsible, childish, and annoying. I have had hearing problems for years. I recently got a $6,000 0-cent pair of hearing aids. Recently at my grandmother's birthday party, we were all eating and drinking on the back porch. My grandmother has a pool. My cousin decided he was going to throw me in the pool because it would be funny to ruin my hair that I just got done that day. I repeatedly told him to stop and put me down in a very serious and not playful at all tone. He threw me in the pool, and my hearing aids were ruined. Afterwards, when I told him what happened, he basically said, "Whoops, didn't know you had hearing aids now." When I told him the cost of them and that he would have to replace them, he freaked out and said, "No way." My family didn't want me to make him pay for them because I significantly out-earn him and also everyone else in the family. He was in college at the time, barely making ends meet in a call center job. His girlfriend and him have a baby, and they live in a one-bedroom apartment. He refused to pay, so I took him to court. I won. He refused to make the payments after, so I took him back to court, and his wages are now being garnished for the maximum amount, which is 20% of his total wages. It pushed him over the edge of what he could afford, so he's had to work extra and drop out of college to be able to pay their rent. My family is absolutely fuming at me. I think he made one bad choice after the other, and he has never given a sincere apology during this whole ordeal. Had he gave a real apology after the incident and asked if he could wait till he finished school to pay me back, I would have been fine with it, but the entitled little prick is digging his feet in at every move. Am I the asshole? The only reason I could see me maybe being the asshole is because it's affecting his child and girlfriend. Comments. Not the asshole. Where he messed up was not negotiating a payment plan with you that he could afford after he did it. A 20% garnishment is a harsh way to learn his lesson, but he earned that lesson. Yes, and he can go back to court and request a lower percentage if it is really hurting him. That he has not done so just shows me he would rather play victim and try to make her look bad. The court would listen to in school, wife, kid, and likely adjust that percentage until after graduation. He may also just be a bit dumb. He did think it would be funny to throw someone in a pool against their will, specifically to ruin the original poster's hair. So he was not doing it because he was horsing around. His intention was malice all along. I am spiteful, so I would have included the cost of my hair in the lawsuit. I'm suspecting they are all on his side, in part because they resent that the original poster is doing better than they are financially. Yes, I caught that as well. The original poster sounds like the family butt monkey, and that is messed up. I know because I am one. Hello, fellow butt monkey. Agreed, the price of getting hair done is rough. He may also just be a bit dumb. I was thinking this too. Which led me to believe that maybe college was not for him in the first place. A parent lets their kids loot their uncle's house to teach a lesson, and now the family's divided. Am I the asshole for letting my kids loot my brother's house to prove my point? My brother and his family came for a visit last month. My kids and I play with Lego, and we have fun leaving little dioramas around my house. Just silly stuff like a fight between Iron Man and Darth Vader on the Loot Llama. It's just our way of leaving Easter eggs around the house. My nephew really liked them and decided to take a few home. When we noticed they were missing, I asked my brother to bring them back. He said that it was just kids being kids, and that he would drop them back the next time we saw each other. I saw him for coffee, and I reminded him beforehand that I wanted all our stuff back. He forgot to bring the toys. Okay, game on. We went over to his place for a BBQ. I told my kids that unless all our stuff was returned to us when we got there, literally anything in the house was fair game. Like the godless barbarians they are, they went to town. When we left, I don't think there were any remotes, small electronics, or beer mugs left at his house. I actually had to sneak the dog back into the house before we left. I started getting calls on our way home. I ignored them. When I got home, I returned his calls. He said a bunch of stuff was missing from his house. I said I would check with the kids. He said that I fucking well knew what happened and that he wanted his shit back. I said I would box it up and return it the next time we saw AITAH, as long as we got our Lego back. He was at my house with my Lego later that evening. He had even accidentally included stuff that wasn't ours. I returned it and his stuff. I told him that this is how we would be dealing with his kid in the future. He is pissed off that he had to make a special trip to return my stuff. My parents think that there is a huge difference between an 8-year-old taking Lego minifigures and a couple of teenagers pillaging their uncle's house. Am I the asshole? Comments. I love that they even got the dog. That made me laugh out loud. An 8-year-old knows not to take toys or stuff from others. Well played. When I was roughly that age, I stole my friend's Pokemon cards. I got home with them and was acting super shifty. My mom caught on and pretty quickly extracted a confession, which I gave with many tears. Her response was to march me down the block, still crying, and make me hand them over to my friend with an apology. I have not stolen anything since then. Yes, giving it back and apologizing is the right thing to do to teach a kid not to steal. But if not, a good alternative is ransacking the boy's bedroom. Some people only learn after they are on the receiving end. Even if the 8-year-old did not know not to take stuff that does not belong to him, then it becomes the parent's responsibility to step in and teach the kid. It suddenly makes perfect sense why there are so many terrible adults out there. I wonder how much of that other stuff the brother had was borrowed from the kid's other friends or ex-friends. Not the asshole. This is a case of tit for tat, and you got your stuff back.